Yo, what's going on? This won't be a super long video, but longer than normal. Over the last few weeks, if y'all, for those of you that follow this page, excuse me, my back is always itching. But for those that follow this page, we've talked about Bashar with Muscle Tone. We talked about the dog abuse. We've talked about the fake papers, the fake registrations, the buying of shows, all of these different things. And people were like, dang, you didn't do the whole video. So I'm doing this video, which is sort of abbreviated, but originally we had another video that was going to be longer. Now, what you need to do is when you watch this video, click back and you'll see it's two separate videos because I'm not good with videos. I'm not even good with sharing videos. I can click on here and do this and it's easy. But you will get a chance to see the clips of a lot of the information. You will get a chance to see the true horrible conditions that the dogs were in. You'll see a dead dog in the video just laying on the floor. That's the dog that he wanted her to throw in the trash. You'll see, blood all over the floor. You'll see, slimy shit. You'll see mucus. You'll see, this probably from Gerardia. You'll see kennels with piled up shit. You'll see puppies sitting on, packed down cedar chips and different things that obviously haven't been changed for well over a week or more. In this thing, you'll see, the lies and the constant, nonsense. Some of the stuff, will never make sense, and I don't have time to go over all of his nonsense. But there's the talk about Mr. Beans not having semen, and around that same time, even in a text message, he admits that the dog didn't have semen, but the person used two dogs. And this goes back to the fact of several times now. Now it's well over a dozen times that dogs have tested DNA-wise to not be the dogs that he said that they were, or off of, actually. He sent out semen that was supposed to be for Magoo, which was a dog that sold for $500,000. Now, keep in mind, the guy who bought the dog for Magoo for the $500,000 is also in on the situation of exposing him and saying that these dogs are not off of Magoo. Basically, this man is full of BS. When Mr. Beans was getting all the ice packs rubbed over on him at the New Orleans Nationals, which would have been, I think, 2015, he actually accused the same guy, Nambai, of poisoning his dogs. But in the same context, I think those text messages are in there. You'll see a month and a half later, he shows his greed again after saying that Nambai poisoned all his dogs, and he was just, determined to show everybody how great his dogs was, so he continued to show them. What he did is he turned around and he text messaged Nan with, hey, I got a great deal for you, for $10 million, I'll sell you my whole empire, I'll sell you this. And I'm like, wasn't this the dude who just poisoned your dogs? But Nan has come out and said, and warned people like this isn't correct. I've told y'all about a friend of mine who had DNA issues there with the different semens, and a lot of his dogs aren't profiled. But everything that y'all need to know from this guy paying show judges. This is the way the system has worked. Dave Wilson actually has one of his dogs. Demon Boy is not a razor's edge dog. That dog comes off of Magoo, which actually comes from Bashar, which Magoo's mother is a female off of my boy Denzel's. It something I don't agree with, but I don't really have a problem with the dog, but we don't know what the dog really is when it comes to Bashar. But I tell you what, people say, why did you make these videos? Why did you expose about the steroid use and different things like that, which I'll be doing a whole other video on steroid use, But the thing of it is this, it's not personal. I don't even know this guy personal. And the one thing that y'all will notice is people feed me information and, like, oh, he beat me out of this or they did. I don't get into people's personal stuff because people can make up a lie on you just as easy. I've had people make up plenty of lies on me. And the thing of it is I don't like to get into those kind of disputes. I don't like to get into who was beating on their wife, who got kids on the side, who got, domestic violences, who got drunk driving. That's nonsense. I stick to the things that's affecting our dog community. community. And anytime you have a very, very popular breeder that takes it upon himself to start adding other breeds into the dogs, to hide all of the names of the dogs, to start rigging shows so his dogs can get those titles, actually, using steroids to give a phony impression of what the dog actually is, and using another dog to people who are paying very, very large money. I mean, big money, $10, $15, $20,000 for these, and refusal to, to do the DNA testing properly to prove what these dogs are. This is going to affect everybody. When you get big time breeders who come in there and their whole mission is to make money, but they'll do it at any cost and they'll push out anything, it becomes an issue. Now, I'm not saying that things don't happen. You have confusion. You have confusion going on. Me and the guy just had a mix up, on our plans to do breedings, and it could have went very, very bad. But these are intentional things. You know what I mean? These are very, very, very intentional things. And these are things to totally defraud the community, to take the money from the community in every which way. And the worst part about it is this is flat out animal abuse. To see these dogs in this condition from very much so the most successful dog seller in American bully history is terrible, This is a man who, the one thing I'll tell you, he can sell anything. The guy is the ultimate salesman, ultimate marketing. But when you look at the condition of the animals, and this is not the first time, this is an ongoing thing. This is actually the fourth or fifth time that people has brought up the conditions that he keeps his dogs in. And then there's a longer list of the conditions as far as how these dogs are getting to places with pneumonia and different things like that. The story is so deep. Excuse me, damn fly. But the story is so deep that it gets to the point of where you've had health official actually fired for bribery. We've had judges, in ABKC that have been linked to getting paid to have his dogs with wins. We've had situations where he's got caught he's gotten in trouble for changing health certificates, trying to get dogs out of the country because his dogs wouldn't pass the health certificates. All of these people complaining about the conditions that their dogs are showing up in, then matching this to the conditions. It's just easy for me to do this video, and I don't look at it as slanderous. I don't look at it as anything. It's more of a public service announcement that there's a ton of evidence that shows that this man just doesn't care about the dogs. His treatment of the dogs is very, very, very terrible. I'm not talking about a dog that goes out in the yard and comes in dirty. Trust me, I got a few of those, I got a lot of dogs that actually stay inside and they go outside, and they outside right now and they get dirty as hell, but the conditions are not of a sickening level, you know what I mean? That's just going out and playing in the dirt. We talking about the kennels being, full of bacteria and different issues that is going to be, you'll see it if you watch the second video. And that's just a clip. That's just something that, we were lucky enough, or maybe unlucky enough to have to see this. But this is telling you these conditions, for someone who's selling puppies for $25,000 and $10,000. It's easy for you to have somebody to constantly clean this thing and take care of this thing. And then he wants you to believe, oh, this was 2 days. No, this is actually, like I say, the third or fourth time just someone has, put in reports about, about how terrible you keep your place, how terrible the place smells. John Easterly talked about that a while ago, but everybody called John a hater. What's his name? Well, I forget his name, but Mike, I forget Mike's last name, but Mike put him out on blast on that Debatable page before, and Michael Thomas put him out on, on blast about how terrible the conditions were back then. Then he ran into the situation with Karen, and there's been several other people who've complained about these conditions. This is animal abuse. This goes far past just our breed. This goes far past just us doing dogs. This is something that we have to look at as a community and say, are we driving our stuff into the ground with this kind of behavior, which I think is an easy yes. And I mean, what I'm going to tell y'all to do, I'm not going to go over the whole history like I told y'all. I gave y'all some of the brief overlay of all the lies and the nonsense that went along with this. But we have to think as a community, do we stand up for the health and the treatment of our animals, if nothing else? I don't care about what a person spends on a dog, what a person pays for a dog. But when you start trying to change the breed and you're willing to do anything to sell, you basically are leaving the community in shambles. As you'll see in one of those clips, is that he's already trying to sell everything. He doesn't care about these dogs. He's actually went on video before and said that he doesn't care about these dogs. And the more that he continues to do this, it's going to keep on doing exactly what it is that he wants him to do, you know. And y'all excuse me for all this fidgeting. I'm over here playing with this damn string. My nerves is bad, so I fidget a lot. I gotta either fidget with my hands and play with this string, or I gotta shake my legs or something. But right now I'm not doing the best. But as I say, this individual has really shown a long line and an ability to screw over the animals. You know, it's not personal. I keep telling you, I will not. People tell me a ton of personal stuff about all them guys all the time, send me shit and all that. I won't talk about them personally, but what we see in these videos is very alarming, and it's a situation that needs to be addressed. Just period. You know, I know that there have been reports made against him, and I know that there will continue to be reports made against him. But the way that these dogs were treated, the conditions that were in this place, and to know that these conditions are very, very, regular at this place is a tragedy. And I think even more so when that's going to be an upcoming video, to see that the ABKC goes along with it hand in hand, never hands down a sanction. You kicked out Carolina Bully Farms for far less, and this man is allowed to walk in the ring at times and take a dog from a handler, drag the dog around the ring and still get first place ribbons, amongst other things, stop dog shows. Excuse me, it's all too much. It's all too much. For those who are trying to compete on a fair basis and trying to do things the right way, this is something that we cannot tolerate. We have to get ourselves together, and we have to defend the dogs. It's not about who gets the glory. It's just about the dogs getting back to a stable place to where we're producing nice, stable animals that we can be proud of in this community. So I'm going to upload this video, and then, the next video I'll upload after this video is going to be the video where we just made it basically for you could see some of the things that we've seen and be a judge for yourself. But I mean, if you're a true dog lover, I don't understand how you could really even fathom this type of issue. This is some ugly shit, and we need to do better, man. We need to really hold people accountable for abusing animals. It's just that simple. But until next time, man, God bless y'all. Much love. Peace.